Okay, so what to do when you mess up in some way? Our biggest challenge as human beings is probably human to human communication, and it's really hard to get that just right a lot of the time, especially if you're stressed or you're worried, and either the stress or the worry is subsumed below your level of consciousness, and your communication is a little more reactive than it is responsive or thoughtful. And that's a really easy place for many of us to go. So, years ago, I learned to practice. I discovered a phrase actually when I was in a moment of stress and a communication was going south. And it was when my partner was sick and needed a blood transfusion, and she did not want to go to the hospital for an inpatient stay. This was several years ago. And the nurse I was communicating with was insisting that the only place that she could get her blood transfusion was in an overnight stay in this controlled environment of the hospital. And I was arguing this point unsuccessfully, obnoxiously, rudely. I was scared. And suddenly a particular phrase came to mind. And this phrase was, whoa, I'm sorry that the conversation has gone in this direction. I'm wondering if we can start over. So that's the simple, basic message. An apology that the conversation has gone in a direction you did not intend. And would the person you're communicating with be willing to start over? I have to admit that I get to use this tactic, every once in a while. So I offer it to you that you can use this with a communication that you're in the moment and you're recognizing it's going south. It can be in a communication that happened yesterday, day before, last week, last year. Anytime, if you had a communication that you're still pondering, you're still ruminating on, you can hit this reset button with the other person. So right now, let's take a few moments to go into a little meditation in which I will guide you into this place where you can have a little sense of peace and calm around this uncomfortable communication that occurred. And you can think of one that's recent or remote and do a little redo in the moment that might give you a little assistance to do a redo with the person in particular. So let's go there. Take a moment to get into your meditation posture, feet on the ground, and your spine is long but not rigid. And begin to focus your awareness on your breathing. Maybe you hear the quiet waves in the background, just following the waves of your own natural breathing as well. And take a moment to just drop into your heart space with the knowing and the awareness that you are truly okay as you are. Right now, in this moment, a sense of equanimity, of a sense of peace or calm, let that enter your heart space, your mind space. With a gentle awareness that you are all right just as you are. And let yourself, if you're interested, to call up a moment when a conversation went in a direction you did not intend. And let that person sit a few feet in front of you in your mind's eye, with also the sense that they're all right just as they are. And recalling the moment where things went south on you, say to the person in front of you, I'm sorry about how that conversation went. It wasn't as I intended, and I'm wondering if you'd be willing to start over. Get a sense of how this is for you, how this feels to you. And take yourself into a future moment when you are literally either face to face or in some direct communication, when you might find the ability to say this. And experiment with what happens. So I hope this was a very useful few minutes for you in a way that you can write a conversation that went wrong for some reason that was unintended, and just experiment. Be willing to be open and hear their response without any necessarily expectation. And I'd love to hear your comments, what you think of this, what you might be taking away, and any other information that you might want about doing these kind of conversations. Let me know. I'm Jackie Levin with Leading Edge Nursing, and feel free to check out my website at leadingedgenursing.com for other things that you might get in relationship to being mindful and aware and other holistic ways that we can be in the world and do our care of others as we care for ourselves. Have a great day.